How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 Aggies, whether they're former, current, whatever it may be. It is very hot outside. I just got done playing some basketball. And I was going to make the video right after, but I was sweating bullets, so I decided to take a shower. And I still feel really hot. So hopefully I can get through this video without passing out. I know I haven't uploaded in about a week. Sorry for that. I've been really busy with work. When I get back to school and on August 16th, so 10 days from now, I'm going to be way more consistent on the channel. I feel like I've been consistent as much as I can. I've just been super busy with a bunch of other things. And as you guys know, during the summer, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Make a lot of videos talking about former Aggies, whatever it may be, but there's not a whole bunch of moves, especially since Hooten and his staff did a great job at getting a team founded in like about a month or two after the off season started. As I mentioned in my last video, I just turned 21 on the 28th, so 9 days ago. So I don't want you guys to think like now that I'm 21, I'm not going to be uploading. I still am. I know I haven't been uploading as much as I want to, but hopefully I can upload 2 to 3 times a week, if not more, once I get back to campus. I'm going to still be busy with classes for sure, and I'm actually going to be interning for the NM State Athletics Media Relations throughout the year. So I'm going to be busy with that. But since I'm on campus, have my own place and stuff, I have a lot more time to do it. And, my roommate and I were close friends. He'll be in and out. We'll know each other's schedules well, and I'll be able to get a lot of good content out for you guys. It'll be the OG room, same room as last year. Maybe make some videos in that Crimson Wire room, and definitely gotta show you guys more of my content there. And for the Artesia Daily Press, which I interned for the summer, now I'm freelance writing for them. Whenever Artesia, Carlsbad, Rio Doso, Alamogordo, all of those newspapers work together, or even Loving. I don't think there's a newspaper out there, but they're part of any county. So they have any sporting events in Las Cruces or nearby, like Deming or even El Paso, Anthony, New Mexico, or Texas, kind of help cover those. So again, going to be really busy with a bunch of things. Also helping out with Crimson Wire, like I said. I was thinking about helping out with the News 22 broadcast, but we'll kind of see what goes on. A lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff I love doing, so I'm going to be super busy, but again, it's stuff I love doing. And the classes I'm taking, I'm really excited for. I'm taking a Introduction to Public Relations class, a Sports and Entertainment Public Relations class, a entrepreneurship class, and then 2 marketing classes, one of them being sports marketing, the other being social media marketing. So these should be super challenging classes, especially with 3 of them online. And I think, for 2 or 3 of the classes, I have the same professor that I've known for over a year now. And he's a great dude, great professor, and was part of the reason that I had the internship for the summer. So shout out to him for that. Jeff Hunter and Richard Colthorpe, 2 of the guys that really helped me out a bunch. I know Jeff did a lot of PR work in Washington, D.C., which is awesome. And you guys might recognize Richard Colthorpe. He was actually the Las Cruces Bulletin publisher for a few years. He's got a lot of good experience in the industry, so really great to learn from those guys. But enough about me. Let's get straight into this video and talk about some Aggie basketball. The first guy on our list is the guy we talked about pretty recently, Elijah Elliott, 6'1" guard. Might be a bit undersized, but he's a super great player. He averaged 14 points in just 5 games for Southern Illinois University last year. He actually did get the chance to play against Florida, who won the national championship last year, as you guys know. I think that might have been the game he got hurt. I think he played about 21 minutes, scored 4 points on 2 for 8 shooting or something like that. Wasn't the greatest night for him offensively, but also didn't have a chance to finish out that game. Maybe if he did, he could have went on a hot streak to end the game and, finish in double figures. Wouldn't have been able to get the win, obviously, but still could have finished with a better game and scoring double figures like he's accustomed to. He also played for former WAC opponent UTRGV the year prior to that, averaged about 16.5 points per game. He also played at Mount St. Mary's for his first Division I experience, but only averaged about 1.5 points, played in 17 games, didn't start of any of them. The past 2 years, he started in a bunch of games. He's pretty much been the full-time starter, which is why I think he'll be a full-time starter for us. And I watched a podcast with Jeff Grommer, who's a sports reporter for the Albuquerque Journal. I have a hard time saying Albuquerque sometimes, which I shouldn't have a hard time with that because our rival plays there. Hooten said in the podcast that Elijah Elliott has a great chance to be a great player, had that ACL injury last year, which kind of held him back, and apparently he's still dealing with the injury a little bit. Hooten's a little upset about that, but hopefully, we have 3 months about till the season starts. It's going to come quick. It's crazy how, summer started 3 months ago, right? So it's going to come before you know it. But hopefully by that time, he's 100% healthy, and if not, super close. That's the biggest thing. I want this team to be fully healthy, because I think if they are, they can do a lot of great things. Jamel Jones can be a great scorer. The whole team, we have a bunch of scorers, a bunch of great guards, some solid posts and forwards as well that can score the ball and defend at an elite level. Really excited to see how they put it all together. But again, they had to be healthy first for that all to go down. And like I said multiple times, I think they have a solid chance of winning at least 20 games, maybe pursuing a Conference USA title and making the NCAA tournament, making a run there for the first time since 2022. Overall, if healthy, Elijah Elliott's going to be a great Aggie along with his teammates. The next player we're going to talk about today is Serge Rice. I've said his name so many times that, I'm sure it's getting redundant for you guys, but he's been doing a lot of great things. He signed a professional contract overseas to play for basketball in New York in the Shazek, I don't know how you say it, Shazek basketball league. I can put it on the screen because I can't pronounce it that well. A lot of these overseas names are hard to pronounce, but he's had some really good experience after playing college basketball for both the Aggies and the Texas Longhorns. For that Texas Longhorns team, came off the bench, but was still the second leading scorer overall at 13 points per game. Had an even better year there than his last year with the Aggies, and had a great career with the Aggies, as you guys know. One of the best players of all time in NMSU history. He most recently played for the Lakers Summer League team this past year, and played for the Spurs prior to that. Played in the Summer League with them in 2023 after he graduated, or not graduated, because he was already graduated before, I believe, but after his college career was done in 2023, and then played in a preseason game for the Spurs. Then I believe he got waived in December of that year, and then made his way to the Lakers, played for their G League team, the South Bay Lakers, averaged about 13 to 15 points per game, along with former Aggie DeJuan Gordon, who put up similar stats, and they both played together on the Lakers Summer League team. And it's cool to see them build that relationship. Two former Aggies played at two different times, two completely different teams, but they still got the job done. Even if it didn't always result in winning, they played well together, and have given themselves a good opportunity to have a chance and make a living in basketball. Hopefully NBA teams can kind of see the player that Rice has developed into. He's a selfless player, does a lot of great things, has a deadly pump fake, can score the ball at a high level, can shoot the ball at a high level, can defend at a high level. His turnovers, here and there might be, a little too much, but he's got good size. He's 6'4", good strength. I don't know how much he weighs. I want to say 180, 190, but I could be way off, so don't quote me on that. I think he'll fit into any system very well, professionally or even in the G League. I'm just really hoping he gets that NBA contract soon, and if and when he does, I'll make a video about it for sure. Former Aggie Robert Carpenter, who played for the Aggies the past 2 years, hurts that he's not part of the team anymore because he was such a great player for us on both ends of the floor. Really going to miss him. Big Shot Rob is what we call him. Kind of like Robert Horry in the NBA, but he's our version of Big Shot Rob. Robert will be playing for BC Luella. Again, not sure if I said that correctly or not, so I'm going to put on the screen just that way you guys know the exact pronunciation or the exact wording of it if you want to look into the team more. Because I don't know a whole lot about these overseas programs, but I know any overseas contract you can get is great, even if it's one of the lower leagues. I think Robert can definitely work his way up. He averaged 10 points and 5 boards for us in 2 years. This past year had a really good year. He was really solid the year before that. As you guys know, and as we talked about a lot on the channel, he did throw that punch against Liberty, which was unfortunate because that's not the player he is. That's not the guy he is. Just some frustration that got to him. And I was talking to former Aggie Keelan Dorsey a couple days after the fact, and he was saying that Robert was already having a bad day. Apparently he was late to shoot-arounds, and the coaches, benched him for that because he was starting a lot of the games before then. Kind of had a negative mindset. And apparently he hit kind of like a hot head at practice a couple times, and obviously he's not going to swing on a teammate. But Keelan said that they made jokes like, "Hey man, obviously you're not going to swing on us, but don't do that in a game." And of course he did. But I really like that he rebounded from that by getting a lot of rebounds and scoring a lot of points, shooting the ball at a high level. I believe that first game against Western New Mexico in his first game back to start the year had 22 points with 6 threes. Even though it didn't count toward the record, it was still great to see him do all that. And I believe the first game of the season against Highlands had 18 points. Even though it's against Division II opponents, it was a great setup for the year. Hit a lot of threes that game. I want to say he hit 4 or 5. And throughout the year, had a lot of big games. The only team he actually really struggled against was Liberty. I don't know if he felt guilt because obviously the game through the punch-in, only played 2 minutes, might have took a shot or two, didn't score. And the two games this year, I think he shot 0 for 7 and 0 for 5 one of the other games. Just was atrocious against them, but was really good against everybody else, and definitely has earned the right to be a professional basketball player. And I know us Aggie fans will be rooting for him along the way. He's a guy I was actually able to build a decent friendship with, so he's a really cool guy overall. 6'7", shoot the ball really well, super strong, just a great overall player. Wanted to give a quick shout out to Evan Gilliard II, who used to play for the Aggies a while back. His birthday was on the 4th, and he's still playing pretty well in the Canadian Elite Basketball League for the Calgary Surge, averaging just under 20 a game. His last game he did only have 3 points, had 13 the game before that. He started the season off super strong. His stats have gone down slightly, but he's still putting up good stats. If you're averaging nearly 20 overseas, that's insane. Like we talked about a lot on the channel, if you can even average 20 in college, that's amazing. So doing that overseas, top notch. He's playing even better overseas than he did, in college. And hopefully he can sign a pro contract eventually. As you guys know, it's never too late. Yeah, a lot of NBA teams don't look for guys that are late 20s, early 30s, whatever it may be. But, Duop Reith plays for the Blazers, 29. He didn't start playing until he was 27 in the NBA. And then Joe Ingles also didn't start playing until he was 27. There's a movie, I'm not too sure. I think it was a 35-year-old baseball player making his rookie debut or something. So it's never too late. Never say never. The last player we're going to talk about today is a fan favorite. Arguably the best player on the team last year, in my opinion, was the best player, Peter Filipovic. Averaged 13 points and 8 boards, which led the team. 13.1 points and 8.2 rebounds to be exact. I get crazy with stats sometimes. He's also making his way overseas to play for Kaposvári KK in Kaposvár, Hungary, which, for those that don't know, that's where he's from. Me and my friend John, who I played basketball with a lot, played intramurals with last year, we were talking about how we think that Peter was going to probably try to go play overseas, probably in Hungary. And he's been in the United States for I don't know how long now, like 7-8 years. Played high school basketball his last couple of years and played college basketball for 4 or 5 years. Really happy for him to, be making his way back home, and I'm sure he's going to ball out, bring the skills he's learned in the U.S. over there. I think it's going to make him a, even better player than he already is. Overall, that's going to close it for the video today. Just want to talk about these former Aggies and what they're doing, playing professionally. A lot of big news recently. I think it's cool to make it one big video, make it a little bit longer. But when I'm back at school, I'll probably try to make, singular videos to get more videos out for you guys to get the news more, on time. That's what I want to try to do. That's the job I want to do. But again, super busy with a bunch of other things going on in the summer. And I'm going to be busy throughout the year, like I said at the start of the video. But I think I'll still have more time to, get a lot of videos out, especially during the season. There's going to be a bunch of news to talk about. Super excited for it. I hope you guys are excited, and I'm out.